Dear Diary, it's Michael O'Leary here. Obviously it's been a while since you heard from me. That's because I haven't had a day off since my first Holy Communion, and I've the cash from that day to prove it. Now, I've been off work for 5 days on the trot because of the bloody volcano crap going off in Iceland. Of all bloody places, first they bankrupt half of Europe, now they're trying to burn the place down. The worst news of all, of course, is that Sean Quinn probably had Iceland insured for fire and theft, the daft bloody idiot. Stupid Eskimos in Iceland obviously got the wrong message when we said, show us your cash, not your flippin' ash. Christ almighty, there's chaos right across Europe. Even Whitney Houston, the menopausal demon diva, had to take a Stena Line ferry to get to her O2 gigs at the weekend. Mind you, not the first time she's had to take a line before a concert. And here we go again. The phone hasn't bloody stopped hopping with stupid Ryanair customers whining and complaining about being stranded in some of the shithole airports we dumped them in last week. Hello.
Hi, Michael O'Leary, Chief Executive of Con Air. Wow.
Jesus, it's Jedward.
We're stuck in Knock Airport. Yeah.
Knock?
Help us.
Right.
It blows. We need to get out of here. We need to go to our next show.
Just shut up for a second, Jesus.
I can't believe we're talking to the real Michael O'Leary. He's amazing. You're awesome. You're like the best way to save money, Louis said.
Right.
Totally. And this one time, Louis said it was too expensive to fly both of us on a plane. Oh, yeah. So he made Edward crawl into a bag. Yeah, but only that. Too heavy. Edward wasn't he was heavier than 10 kilos. Yeah. I didn't fit into things. Charged extra. I didn't fit in the Ryanair thing.
Just shut up and tell me where you're flying to from Knock.
We're flying to Kerry. Yeah, Kerry.
You're flying to Kerry?
No, can't get a ferry because can't take a ferry. Sea between us.
What?
No, continent away.
Why don't you take a bloody car?
Come on, that would take forever.
What?
It would take 2 weeks. What even country? Come on.
I don't have time. Look, I don't have time for this shite.
Yeah, Kerry's a different continent. Come on, take a car. Stupid.
That's enough of that. Anyway, Diary, with all these days off, I've been able to check up on my Facebook. And lo and behold, who is my only friend on FB? Only the underpants bomber from Detroit. Remember him? He tried to blow up a plane with a grenade strapped to his Y-fronts. The feckin' idiot. So I poked him on Facebook, wondering why he wanted to be a suicide bomber. I get 40 virgins in heaven, he replied. Oh right, like that's going to be a lot of use to him when you're flying mincemeat after blowing the shite out of an aircraft. You know, I'd love to see those instructors sometimes in the old suicide bombing camps, strapping on the explosives belt and saying to the Al-Qaeda pupils, everyone pay attention, I'm only going to show you this once, kaboom! 40 virgins in heaven, me eye. What kind of reward is that anyway? Give me 2 fire-breathing whores from Mullingar any day of the week. Here we go again, same old shite. Yes, what do you want?
How you doing, O'Leary? How's it hanging going forward? It's Brian Cowan here.
Right, well, when am I going to get me bloody flights back into the air?
There'll be no flights for at least another 3 weeks.
What?
Not until we get this bonfire finished.
Bonfire? What are you talking
about? Put those €500 notes into the middle of the fire, Lennon. What are you doing? To get this thing on the road.
Tisha, what's going on with this bonfire?
The bonfire, you know.
What?
Or the Nama bonfire. We're putting €500 notes, €100 notes, €50 notes into the fire.
Jesus.
So every time in Europe thinks it's the volcano in Iceland.
Oh no.
There's the Nama bonfire here.
Tisha.
Sending a toxic plume into the sky.
You're behind this whole bloody thing.
Afraid the planes might fly into a big cloud of dust from the 81 billion that's gone up in flames here.
Have you any idea the misery you're causing?
Put your back into it, Coughlin. Those €50 notes aren't even singed.
Jesus.
Put them into the fucking fire now.
What in the name of...
We're trying to get planning permission for an incinerator going forward to speed up this process.
Don't believe this, shite.
Back up the JCB of 20s in here.
You're going to pay for this, Tisha. Mark my bloody words. Bastard. Oh, Diary, the aviation industry as we know it is surely ruined now. God, I'll have to strip back the airline travel even more. By the time I'm done this year, flying abroad with Ryanair will consist of hopping onto a giant catapult in Wexford, from which we'll f*** you off into the general direction of Europe. Not a bloody bad idea if you ask me.